How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to our very first video of 2023. I know that kind of already dates the video, and that's something that I try to avoid, but I think it's relevant here because we're going to be exploring the studio today, showing it off to everyone out there. This is something that's been requested many times, and I figured, you know what, it's the perfect time to do it, the start of the year, to kind of show off the studio, show everything that's kind of going on here, and then maybe next year we'll do the same thing and then see how things have changed and maybe see things that maybe haven't changed. I expect things will change wildly from the art that I have on display to the background display here. It's going to be interesting, and then it's also a good chance to just kind of show things off, and if you have any questions, just ask them down below and I'll tell you about them. There's a lot of stuff here, from tons and tons of flesh and blood stuff to anime figures to old card games. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be pretty chill and just like the perfect kind of video to ease into the new year. If you like what I do and you would like to support me, I do have a myriad of ways for you to do so. I have my Patreon. I have channel memberships here, which would be great if more people supported the channel memberships. It means we can get more emotes. And as we do more live streams as we go into the next year, more emotes is going to be good. I'd like to get some like flesh and blood custom emotes made. And then I also have my online store as well and various other things that I already mentioned, the Patreon. There's a lot of ways to support if you'd like to, but without further ado, let's start the tour. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to start off with this. This is our newest splash art and playmat. In fact, this is our very first Grand Archive themed playmat. It's available right now, and it's done by a Grand Archive artist and great friend, Hutchison. Now, you're going to hear that name a lot because she has been an amazing help and just a fantastic friend this year, and you're going to see some of her stuff around the studio. But I just wanted to shout this out. If you're a fan of Grand Archive or fantasy anime in general, you may be a fan of this playmat. It is a limited signature edition. It's got Han's digital signature here. It's so cute. And it's available right now on redzonerogue.com. But I also wanted to start here because this is a really great starting point, because this is my table. This is the recording table. This is where I record a lot of stuff. It currently has a bunch of stuff on it, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But it's also a great vantage point for showing you around the room and kind of showing you the vibe that I want to have for my studio. Now, I had a specific vibe in mind for the studio. I wanted it to be a place where you could look everywhere and see something awesome. Kind of like one of those old LGSs that you would walk into as a kid and you would just look up and be in awe at all of the cool stuff that they had. You know, the figures, the cards, everything on the shelves, just some really cool stuff. And that is the vibe that I wanted here. And I think I've succeeded. There are some additional things that I want to do here, but that is the vibe. We're going to go over everything individually, but I just kind of wanted to start at this small point and kind of just show you everything that we have and the general vibe here. So let's actually go with the entryway. So this is the entryway. This is an uncut sheet of War of the Spark, Magic the Gathering. I would like to get this replaced with a Flesh and Blood uncut sheet at some point, but this is what we have for now. We also have a Legions Realms at War poster here. I kind of want to get this replaced with this Legions uncut sheet that I have here. So this rolled up thing is an uncut sheet of Legions, as well as some, you know, I've got some posters and other framed things here. The one that is unopened is going to be for a Honshu print that I have coming. Like I said, we're gonna mention Honshu a few times here. This little dangly thing right here, it was here when we moved in. So I just kind of left it. We just left it here. It's not a big deal. All right, so let's go on to this wall. This wall is something that you've probably seen if you have watched our live streams. It is the background and contains some of my absolute favorite things. So this Dromai and this prism were both hand-drawn by the fantasy artist, or just, I guess, just artist in general, Livia Prima. So she's very well known for her Magic the Gathering art, as well as being the artist of Prism in Flesh and Blood. So I had to get Prism hand-drawn by Livia Prima. And then the frames are custom. So those are custom-made frames. This one, they're both custom ordered as well. So both the arts were custom ordered. I was like, hey, can you draw me Prism? And she was like, yeah. And this one was like, hey, could you draw me Dromai? And she was like, adult or young? And I was like, your choice, but can you just make it out to Red Zone Rogue? And then she did. So this one is you know, a dedicated one, which is so awesome. You can also see the date on both of these are 2022. You know, the next time I see Livia Prima at a Flesh and Blood event, I will try to get her to do another one. I love them a lot. They're awesome. This one is a custom canvas that I had made, as well as the Dragon Slayer Veya and the Kodako's Library. So these are all custom canvases. We have 3 more custom canvases in the studio. You might have seen them when we did the kind of the intro there, but this one here is the art for our very first official TCG collaboration. This is the Korhazi Courier from Grand Archive, which is our first collaboration card featuring our character Katsumi here. And so we have Katsumi, and then we also have Veya, and then Kodako, which is kind of like the more realistic version of Katsumi. Katsumi's name is Katsumi Kodako. Kodako is a word that sounds kind of like card. And Katsumi means victorious beauty. So that's where that came from. The name, by the way, was chosen by our community. Same with Veya. And then similarly, we're going to just kind of jump on over here just to show off more art. You're going to see a lot of lights here because I normally use a 3-point lighting system, but because it makes such a, you know, gets in the way, I took off the umbrella lights, which are down there. And look, hey, look, some more Hammer stuff. But anyway, we're gonna see some glare because I took off the umbrellas because it just gets in the way. So this one is a rise above art. It is quite large. You can see the hand comparison. It's quite large. And then we have this Eternal Girl Katsumi canvas print, and then we have our 10K canvas print. So we actually have multiple canvas prints. Now, most of these turned out darker than I would have liked. The anime style ones actually turned out quite well, but these ones all turned out dark. Like the canvas quality is pretty good, but the print turned out very, very dark. Like I said, the anime ones turned out all right. This one is also quite dark. So yeah, that's that. We do have one more canvas, and that is the one over here, but we'll talk about this art just a moment. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. We're going to try to give this a very, very quick rundown because this is going to be a very long video if I go over everything individually because we have a lot. So this is all extra background display stuff if I need it. They're all empty boxes of Wheatcross. They're one of every English print set, sometimes 2. We still have some packs in there, but those are for patrons. Let's see, we have more stuff. This is Legions, Realms at War, as well as some Genesis open boxes. These Wheatcross decks are all, they actually have decks in them. I just need a place to put them. We also have a Beta Plague Rats, as well as this revised Animate Wall, best artwork in TCG history. These here are community cards. So like just custom cards made by the Flesh and Blood community that were given to me through various things. Like we have a Scarlet here from DM Armada. I also have one of all of my own Red Zone Rogue like custom cards here. So I got one of each of those there. This box that has Saber on it is a box that had a bunch of Red Zone Rogue custom cards. Beneath that, you can see some cards from various other TCGs, including stuff like Battle Spirits Saga here. These are like test print cards, as well as the deck that they sent me to make that video. There's also a bunch of other like indie card games. There's like Vanquishers here. This is a level for making sure that these are level. As well as more Vanquishers, Avatar Spirits, War, Daman Rhapsody. We have Huntic, so I've got the cord getting in the way, but we got Huntic here, was given to me by Ian Kenderdine at Flesh and Blood Worlds. These cards here, let's see if I can get this properly in focus. These cards here are Alpha Clash. I don't have very many of those. I haven't actually played the game yet. I'm iffy on Alpha Clash right now. The card stock for these could be better. It feels a lot like Myths and Legends. In fact, the foiling feels like Myths and Legends too. So if you're familiar with Mythos y Leyendas or Myths and Legends, these really feel like those cards, and they don't even feel as good as like these custom cards. These ones feel better. So I don't know. I don't know about that. This is some Varia. I do really like Varia. Still want to make a Varia video or follow-up video. This is the second season box, and it is still sealed. I haven't even opened it up yet. Next to it, we have some sorcery. This is actually the sorcery decks that Eric sent me to playtest the game with. And, you know, there's some other stuff here like Rune Chasers, and basically, I haven't done videos on a lot of these, like Vanquishers, like Rune Chasers, because frankly, I don't think they would perform very well on YouTube. But what I think would be interesting is a video kind of doing a big wrap-up showcase of a bunch of indie TCGs and community TCGs. Because beneath the Dawn Rhapsody stuff that I did a video on many years ago, there are some other like community TCG stuff that were sent to me. So I find that stuff very interesting, like the custom community cards. And then beneath that, we have what I like to call the Towers of Power. This is mostly bulk, but not all bulk. As you can see, there are some like long boxes of alpha foils and rares from Flesh and Blood. These are all Flesh and Blood for the most part. Well, at least on this, on the left-hand tower, it's all Flesh and Blood. Right-hand tower is a mix of Flesh and Blood and other card games, including a bunch of We Cross on the bottom, not all English, some Japanese, and stuff that just has all my foils and all that kind of stuff. I pull these out to make decks quite often. And then we have over here something that is a very familiar sight. This is the Red Zone Rogue backdrop. We'll go over this really quickly, but like I said, we're not going to go over everything. There's just so much, and I don't want this video to be like an hour and a half. So, top row. This is a bunch of our Flesh and Blood sleeves that were given to me by Dragon Shield, or sleeves that I got at events. These are all sealed boxes. We have more. I'll show you a lot more sleeves later. And behind those, we have some empty boxes that I use as a background. We also have this from Emanuela Crovius that says, "Thank you, Kellen." We have one over here that says, "Open carefully," from Enrique Lindner. We also have one down here that says, "Thank you, Kellen," from that's from Federico Musetti. We have one over here, which is a nice little, lovely handwritten note by Eleanor Petera. Those are all Flesh and Blood artists. And then, as you can see, you're going to see a lot of stuff from Flesh and Blood artists because, you know, I love supporting artists. They're very kind folks, and a lot of them have become friends. So, yeah, we also have some pretty spicy stuff up here. So this is all first edition Cold Foil Arcane Rising Legendaries, a full set. We have an entire set of Cold Foil Arcane Rising Legendaries, as well as a Cold Foil Fiendel's Spring Tunic. Now, once again, apologies for the glare. We don't have the umbrellas up, but that's what that is. And then there's some other stuff up here too, like, you know, notes from LSS and all that kind of stuff. We'll see more of that. Over here are some hand-drawn sketches from Steve Argyle. There's a little chunky angel and a dragon. They're super cute. Let's go down here. We have some Yorick promos. We have some swag from Federico Musetti. We have a signed Cold Foil Viscerae by Steve Argyle. Signed Cold Foil Lexi by Federico Musetti. This lovely button that was a gift to me from Honchu. It was very, very lovely gift. I didn't even know she was doing it. She just drew it and then made it into a button and gave it to me. And I still have two more in addition to that. And we're going to use these as part of our 15,000 sub giveaway. They're very unique. I only have 3 of them. So yeah, I think it'll be a fun thing for someone who's a fan of the channel. We also have this Bima signed print behind it. And then behind that, we also have some Flesh and Blood decks. We have the original welcome decks. Well, we do have the Ira welcome decks behind these. Got some Ira welcome decks behind there. I had a lot more, but I've been giving them, basically just been giving them out. And then we have the hero decks. Some of them are sealed, some of them are open, but I've been giving a lot of them away, either to friends or through giveaways. We also have background display, all first edition opened boxes. Then we have this. This is a Toki Greenstone. This right here. It's a Toki Greenstone. And it was given to me by Steve from Sushi Night. And if you know anything about Maori culture, this is kind of a very, very big gesture. It's a symbol of not just friendship, but of togetherness, brotherhood. It's a really important thing. And I, you know, wanted to put it in a place of honor, front and center on the main display here, right next to Red Zone Rogue. This really cool, honestly, thing that was given to me by Legend Story Studios. It just says Red Zone Rogue on it, but I love it. Behind that, you just have a lot of those white LSS cards. Like there's just a bunch of them. This is the one that Robbie Wen wrote when he gave me the lore book. We'll show off the lore book in just a little bit too. But there's that. We also have this bust of Viserai, which is really, really cool. This was given to me by a Rogues Gallery member, a viewer out there, so thank you so much for that. We have our custom token. I think it's so cool that it deserves to go on display. We have, this is Gilgamesh from Fate, and it was given to me as a gift from Emanuela Crovius, one of the artists that I mentioned. Amazing person, and just awesome. And then we have another signed Steve Argyle cold foil card. Down below, we have one of my favorite shelves. This is my artist proof shelf. We have a lot of artist proofs. And behind that, we have more opened first edition boxes, including Alpha Welcome to Wraith, first edition Arc. These are both opened on the channel. And then we have, you know, more open boxes. Not exciting. But what is exciting are all of these artist proofs. I love every single one of these. But there's a couple that have stories, and I think it's really interesting. So, like, this hand-drawn Viserai was given to me by Steve Argyle at, I think it was the first Pro Tour, or maybe it was the Uprising World Premiere event. But in any case, Steve Argyle and I were chatting about Spinal Tap because he's wearing a Spinal Tap shirt, and I asked him if he could do me a little doodle, and he doodled Viserai, Spinal Tap backup bassist. It's one of my favorite things that I own. I love it so much. I love hand-drawn stuff. Between like this Viserai, all of these hand-drawn artist proofs, these over here, and then a hand-drawn painting, or an original painting, I guess you can call it, that I'll show off in just a little bit. Those are my favorite things, right? Really big fan of these. So like here we have Soyame. This one in the center is Silvia Meliani. We have an Emanuela Crovius artist proof. This is a Federico Musetti artist proof. This is actually a Great Library of Solana artist proof. Over here is the Henrique Lindner artist proof of the Grandeur of Valahai. There's another Crovius, another Soyame, another Federico Musetti, another Silvia Meliani, and then we have a Soyame one of my favorite Genshin Impact character, Raiden Shogun. We also have a bunch more here, just a bunch more. I could talk a lot about this, so we're going to move on. And this is a Corsham artist proof, but there's no sketch on it. The next shelf is a little bit more nebulous. There's a lot of Grand Archive stuff. I would like to get Grand Archive its own shelf eventually when I have enough stuff. But we do have like a sealed Sylvie deck box, super cute. We have some Grand Archive promos. These are all promos, basically. We also have our test print of our collaboration card, Korhazi Courier. We have a demo deck there. I have more demo decks, but I gave some to friends, and I have some sleeved up. I'll show those later. We have the Ambassador card. This is a signed dungeon guide by Honshu, which is awesome, the artist for the card. And just some other promos and stuff. Behind that, we have some sealed Dragoborn. That's a sealed, it's not sealed box, but it's a box of sealed starter decks. And then behind that, it's hard to see because it's so dark. There's just a ton of Dragoborn starter decks that are all sealed. Obviously, we have some sorcery stuff here. Behind the sorcery, we have Warlord, Saga of the Storm, and some Vampire the Masquerade, and some Cyberpunk. Just a bunch of sealed old dead card games. Speaking of which, we have a lot of that stuff down here. So we have Tomb Raider, a sealed starter deck brick. Above that, we just have some cool little, sorcery things and little packs and stuff that I've saved. We have some Wars. This is sealed boxes of Wars. Probably like 4 or 5 of each, maybe 6 of each. I have a bunch of Wars. I have a bunch of Wars. We also have some other things like, here's some cryptic stuff. Genesis, that's Ghost in the Shell, Force of Will set. We have sealed starter deck of Star Trek, sealed starter decks of X-Files, sealed booster box of X-Files, and 2 sealed boosters of Keyforge, and as well as buttons. And then below that, we have a bunch of books and manga. I have a lot more manga in the bedroom, a lot more books, but these are the ones that made it into the studio. Lots of Junji Ito. I have a lot more Junji Ito as well. And then below that, I think this is Legions, Realms at War. And then we have a bunch of starter decks for L5R. That's that green thing right there. And then here's a sealed starter kit for L5R. We're going to see more L5R in just a second. Going over here, we have a bunch of art books. The best book from here, obviously, is this one. This is the Flesh and Blood lore book. I want to put this in a better spot, but I don't have a better spot. I would like to put it up here, but it doesn't fit. This is too small. The book is too tall. So that's that. These Magic art books are actually fantastic, but I'm not super into Magic anymore, but I used to be, and these books are great. Rage of Bahamut, these Warcraft books are great. This Arkham Horror book is also great. Above that, we have Legend of the Five Rings. This is all sealed Legend of the Five Rings, except for this, which is my deck from when I was a kid. And then we have more sealed L5R in the back. Those are sealed booster box tins. I do want to make a big L5R video at some point. I think this game's awesome. And I bought a lot. I have a lot. Above that, we have a bunch of sealed Wyvern, except for this. The Chameleon is not sealed. I opened it up in a video, but everything else is sealed. We have sealed booster box, a Premier Limited Edition, a sealed booster box of Kingdoms, and 2 sealed starter bricks, and then some other random stuff. And this lovely MTG like Taipei thing that was given to me at Worlds from a lovely person. I forgot his name, but shout out to you. If you're watching the video, comment. You're awesome. Above that, we have more sealed dead card game stuff with Middle-earth CCG. That is a sealed booster box of the White Hand. And then below that, we have a sealed booster box of the Wizards. This is a first edition box, but it is in French. These cards here are Genesis Battle of Champions. These were given to me by the creator Asid, a nice dude. And, you know, I thought they deserved a place on the shelf here. And then we also have some Genesis, like, little poker chip things. This is my only Hatsune Miku figure. I don't really like Hatsune Miku all that much, but I like this demon one. I think she's really cute. And then we have this little button, this Oops button that was given to me by an artist friend, Lucky Yuki. And it was for my birthday. It was awesome. Thank you so much, Yuki. You're awesome. And I love this little cute button. We have some more stuff from her that we'll show off as well. And then here's our first proper figure. Really, really cool. This starts the theme here of girls with weapons. So yes. And then behind that we have more Middle-earth. 3 more Middle-earth. Here we have the first of our Arknights figures, which you'll see that I collect. I love Arknights figures. I love the character design on all the characters. I think they look awesome. And here's a little Arknights keychain that was given to me by Honshu. Next, we have another Arknights figure. So this one is Arknights figure. Her name is Texas. And this one is Chen, or Chen. Chen's cool. They're both cool. I love Arknights. Behind that, we have a sealed... Oh, it's so dark, you can't see it. But there's a sealed starter deck thing of the Sailor Moon TCG. And then we have some sealed Dragoborn. The Reckoning of Vashir is not sealed. That's, like, impossible to find. But the other ones are. And then we have some sealed Genesis behind. It's hard to see. Next up, we have more figures. We have Lynn from Fire Emblem. She's my favorite Fire Emblem character, so obviously when she got a figure, I bought it. And this is Dark Dragoon Forte from Shadowverse and also Rage of Bahamut and also like Grand Blue Fantasy. I love Forte. She's one of my favorite characters. She's got these giant lances. She rides dragons. She's awesome. And then behind that, we have a sealed Magic the Gathering. Oh, it's so hard to see with the glare. That is a comic book, Fallen Empires comic book, sealed, that still has the Fallen Empires booster pack inside. And then we have an oversized Magic card, Chevron Dragon, my favorite card. Got that in an old Duelist magazine when I was a kid. All right, let's go to more anime figures. So this is the top row. These are like the figures that I don't quite like as much as some of these other ones here. But from right to left, this is, I'll just say where it's from. So Arpeggio of Blue Steel, Beetlejuice. It's a female version of Beetlejuice. Look, she's got the handbook for the recently deceased. I love that. I love that figure, actually. Karano Kyokai. This is from Azure Lane. This is from Momohime, which is a great side-scrolling beat-em-up game. And she is from also Grand Blue Fantasy / Shadowverse / Rage of Bahamut. We also have a bunch of figures above. So we have like Ash and some other stuff. But these are figures that I don't know what to do with. I don't know what to do with these figures. We also have a Gundam one over there. Pilot, not an actual Gundam. And then here we have more Arknights figures. So that is Skyfire in the bad lighting. There you go, better lighting. This is Lapland. And then we have 2 Fate figures. And then behind the Fate figures, we have another Shadowverse, the Shadowverse Tetra figure. So Shadowverse, Rage of Bahamut, Grand Blue Fantasy. This one is our only Punishing Gray Raven figure. The game itself is okay, but I really like the character designs, and she just looks cool. And then we have more Arknights figures. So I'll tell you what the Arknights names are at least. So this is Exousia, So this one is another Arknights figure. This is Neon, and this one is probably my favorite one. Like, look at this demon mask, this Oni mask that she has. This is Hoshiguma. I love Hoshiguma. She's awesome. She's super cool. So those are all the figures here. We have more anime figures, but those are all the figures here. And then behind the figures, you can see some various anime TCGs. There's like some Force of Will sealed back there. Like, of all of the first sets, there's some Pokemon, like old school Pokemon back there, and some Shadowverse cards. There's like a original Sabrina trainer card back there. She's my favorite character in Pokemon. And then down here we have the WeCross shelf. Lots of WeCross stuff, a lot of stuff from Lucky Yuki, including more pins that she gave me for my birthday, and a lovely little birthday card. This says happy birthday on it. Like I said, Yuki is like, she's awesome. And then we have some more artist proofs that I couldn't fit on the artist proof shelf. They're all Genshin Impact characters, including one of my favorites. Well, I actually like all of these, but Ganyu and Hu Tao are great. And so yeah, that's just a WeCross shelf. Beneath that we have more art books. These are all anime art books. Mostly WeCross, but not all WeCross. So like this one is just from one of my favorite anime artists, Lack. Just a great art book. We have another figure. She's from SSS, either Gridman or Dynazenon. I don't remember which one. And then here we have some more buttons. The buttons were given to me as a gift from Honshu. And then we have some more WeCross stuff. And then on the bottom shelf, we have more anime figures. Two of my favorite characters that I'm sad that they have to go down here, but they don't fit anywhere else. So this is Dark Angel Olivia from, you guessed it, Shadowverse, Grand Blue Fantasy, that kind of stuff. And then this is Mary Sawatome from Kakaguri, my favorite character. She's one of my favorite characters just in general. She's awesome. I love Mary. She's great. And also, like, she's just so on theme with everything else here. More anime girls who are into like card games, please. And then we also have some Arknights, like keychains that came with the figures, and some pins and stuff. We have a little Anyu, or Ayu there. Anyu? Whatever. It was given to me by Honshu. And then more art books. The Art of Diablo art book is super good. But there's some other stuff there too, as well as a bunch of Arkham Horror. And so yeah, that is, well, you know what? We also have a couple things below. Shadow to Ashes and Warhammer Conquest. All right, so yeah, so that's kind of like the main area. Let's check out some other stuff. We have tripod. We have air conditioner, which is very important. It gets really hot in here. And then this is just kind of like a little supply area, including another tripod. This is a bunch of playmats. There's about 30-something official Flesh and Blood playmats here. As well as like a bunch of anime playmats underneath those. So we have some of our own custom anime mats. And then some like official ones. Like here's some like official. It's hard to get the angle without everything dangling in front, but you know, we have some mats here. Lots and lots of playmats. I have so many playmats. I have more playmats than this. I have more playmats than this in like storage areas. I have so many playmats. But these are all like my official Flesh and Blood mats and whatnot. Here's another storage area that's just kind of off in the corner. Various things for streaming and videos. You know, various swivel arms. Webcams, you know, mics. There's a Rode mic, just a bunch of stuff here. These are all unopened boxes of sleeves. So unopened boxes of sleeves, Dragon Shield sleeves on the right. Sleeves on the left are anime sleeves, and there's a lot. I have a lot of these. This one is Fire Emblem, and then we have like, once again, I like Shadowverse a lot, so here's Shadowverse sleeves. And this whole box, that whole box is just full of anime sleeves. Beneath that we have just more supplies. Just, yeah, some boring stuff, supplies. Above that, we have a drinking horn, as well as our only Force of Will poster. You know, you gotta know where you come from, and Force of Will is how we started this channel, so definitely had to have some sort of Force of Will representation in the video, so, or in the studio, I should say. So, yeah, that's Reyna, one of my favorite characters from Force of Will. Done by the artist that I showed the art book from, Lack, actually. And then we have a Warhammer poster over there, or it's a print, it's a Warhammer Age of Sigmar print. Hard to see because of this light. This is one of my massive tripods here that I could use for filming, but I mostly use it for lighting, for a 3-point lighting setup. So we have like the tall fill light, then we have secondary light, and then backlight here. And I move these around, you know, to get the lighting to look good. Azalea print. We have more anime figures. I have a lot of figures. We have the girl with a scythe is from Fate, And then the girl with the bow is from Dragon's Crown. That's Elf from Dragon's Crown. And the girl with the scythe is from Fate, and she looks awesome. Just look at this. She's got an awesome scythe. Then we have some anime boxes. Just anime, or figure boxes, I should say. And then some little, like, playmat sleeves, or I guess what you can call that. Bulk. We have some leftover holiday cards. And then here is the table that we kind of started at. This is all stuff that I'm prepping for deck building. So I'm actually building a bunch of new WeCross decks. So we have a bunch of WeCross decks in here. These are all already made WeCross decks. And then these are my WeCross like binders of like nice and expensive things. So like, for example, this is all of the new set, right? So I have, finding it's very hard to film this kind of stuff. But yes, this is all like some WeCross stuff. We have even more WeCross stuff. This small red binder is a my level 0 Elrigs, like promos and foils and that and whatnot. And then this one is the binder that's full. We're gonna have a little cut there because the video recording just cut off, but this is the other WeCross binder that just has all of like my other foil super rares and what do you want to call them? LRs, that kind of stuff. Like, yeah. This is all like the first few sets. Almost a playset of everything, and anything that doesn't have a playset, it's in one of those decks. I also have a similar binder like this for Flesh and Blood. Let me pull one out. Here's this one for Flesh and Blood. This is my Spice binder. If you saw one of my recent videos, I talked about this. So, you know, we got Fableds, Legendaries, more Legendaries, more. All the empty spaces are because they're in decks. We have foil and cold foil heroes. Some of them signed by the artists. You know, more cold foil stuff, cold foil weapons, cold foil promos, marvels. It's my spice binder. My spice binder. This is just a bunch of stuff that's on the table. Every now and then the table just gets full of stacks of cards. It's just the thing that happens. These are WeCross promos, like the sleeping WeCross promos. These are quite expensive, actually. They range from about 50 to 100 plus bucks a pop. I have five of them here. Keeping most of them, but maybe selling some. Here are the Flesh and Blood socks. Oh, I love these so much. I haven't gone around to actually using them because the holidays have been rough. And I haven't been in the studio often, just to be honest. But everything underneath that, those are all Flesh and Blood decks. It's four built Flesh and Blood decks. Next to that, we have a bunch of sealed Flesh and Blood booster boxes. This is my sealed boxes. It's getting a little bit low. I like to have about 4 of each. But, you know, like I said, we've been busy. This Scorpion is hand-painted. Look, you can kind of see it. This is a hand-painted Scorpion piece of artwork from Sorcery. And I will be getting another hand-painted piece of artwork from Sorcery. I will be framing both of them at the same time, most likely. But until then, it's here in our kind of like painting gallery. So we also have this Canvas Lexi, which is a numbered 2 out of 10 from Federico Musetti. So this is a limited out of 10 Lexi print, one of my favorite Flesh and Blood heroes, if not my favorite hero, next to another favorite hero, Azalea over there. And then above, we have the fantasy piece that we showed off earlier, the one that is, you know, that playmat, as well as some prints from Han Chu that she gave to me as a gift. This is Yor from Spy Family, and this is Siege from Arknights. And we're going to be putting another Han Chu piece right here as well. And then this is kind of like the final major area in the studio. This is like all of my card stuff, basically. If it's not in the Tower of Power or in the closet, it's here. So this is like where all of my Flesh and Blood Majestics are, where like my whole Magic collection of rares and mythics, and we have this binder here is an entire Dragoborn collection, like one of every single card in the game. We have Alpha and First Edition Arcane Rising. We have just other Arcane Rising. These 4 binders are all Magic the Gathering. These binders are more expensive Magic the Gathering. So like, for example, let's take this out. And so we have like fetch lands. Here's some like Alpha, Beta, unlimited stuff. This is some of my nicer stuff. Here's some. Wait, no. There we go. Here's some shock lands and fetch lands and swords and stuff. What's funny about this is, since I don't really care all that much about Magic anymore, I have these two full, almost full. You saw there are gaps there, but they have gaps because they're in Commander decks. But I also have just a bunch of really expensive Magic cards just kind of sitting around. Like, here's a Bitter Blossom, and then there's a foil Sheoldred behind the Bitter Blossom, and then Rise of the Dark Realms. It's just, I don't care as much about Magic these days, so I have just stacks of really nice Magic cards just around. I did buy, as much as I am against it, I did buy some of the Secret Lairs because I love Junji Ito. I love, is it Shinkawa? Yeah, Shinkawa. Yoji? Shinkawa Yoji? Yeah, there we go. I bought those. I bought those Secret Lairs. So, yeah, it is what it is. I had it was a really like difficult moment because I was talking to the professor and I'm like, my favorite mangaka is having a Secret Lair, but I really don't want to support them. And he's like, hey man, if you really love it, just go for it. And I did. We also have some Ashes, Rise of the Phoenix Born, more Magic, just a bunch of Commander decks. I think I own like 15 Commander decks. These long boxes of Magic are actually like spicy. Like, they're unsorted, really nice cards. There's like Kiki-Jiki and Shocklands and stuff in there. It's just because they were all in decks. I took the decks apart, and I stopped caring about Magic. So instead of wasting all my time putting them into all these binders, I was just like, well, it just gets a long box. And I don't want to sell them because I might want them later, but right now, I don't know. Here we have some more Wheatcross, as well as a Force of Will World Championship box. That's a playset of every card from the Rhea cluster first set, I believe, and maybe a little bit more. We have some Shadowverse Evolve, all Japanese, of course. One of my favorite deck boxes. This is a Rebecca Gay deck box that my dad bought for us when we were little, like in middle school. It's an old deck box. This has a modern deck in it, actually. Reanimator. And then we have some more Force of Will. All of these are Force of Will here, except for this, which is Dragoborn, or not Dragoborn, Wyvern. That is my complete set of Wyvern, except for 2 cards. I'm only missing 2 cards. And then next to it is a full set of Theros Beyond Death foil, and then some Force of Will. These are all Force of Will, like rares and supers and foils and stuff. And then these 2 boxes, or these 2 binders here, these are my Flesh and Blood Majestics and promos. Those are full. Those are both full. Like, I'm not going to show it off here, but like, there are pages of just like, you know what, maybe I will. Maybe I will. Here, let's grab this one. I think this is the... Right, so after some difficulty, here we have this binder. So this is like, it's got some generic Majestics. So we got E-Strikes, we got Command and Conquers. We have my page of Art of Wars. I told you, I opened up a lot of Art of Wars. Page of Tome of Fiendel. We have some Vipoxes and Erase Face and lots and lots of Flesh and Blood. I've opened a lot of Flesh and Blood. So this is some Flesh and Blood. So they're all sorted by class and then by talent. So this binder's full. That other binder's also full. I need another binder to have more. I have too many Flesh and Blood cards. As you can see, I don't have as many of these, but that's because they're in decks. They're in decks. So I actually probably own about 10-ish of each of these cards. Anyway. Yeah, so that's that. That's this. I didn't talk about these shelves. So we have just a bunch of boxes of decks, basically. So we have some Commander decks here. They're quite nice Commander decks, if I have to say so myself. Like, you know, very, very nice, with some really, really nice cards in them. This is full of Flesh and Blood Commoner decks that are all built and ready to go. This Sylvia deck box is empty for now, but this will contain my Grand Archive decks once I get my stuff and start building decks. This one has the Grand Archive demo decks, so I can play demo decks with this. And then we just have some more decks and stuff. There's just lots and lots of decks. Above that we have Pokemon. Beneath that we have some Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks are in that box. Some of them from when I was a kid. This one is the Gym Leaders Challenge deck that I built. That's actually super fun. It's pretty nice too. So like we have Sabrina. There's also there's a lot of really nice cards in that one. We have some sealed boxes of Genesis Origins, and then behind that we have more Genesis and some more, just tons of boxes of cards and stuff. We have some Epic back there. We have Genesis. We have the Final Fantasy card game. These are sleeved Cardfight Vanguard decks. That was really not in focus. Sleeved Cardfight Vanguard decks. We have Keyforge. As you can see, I play a lot of card games. If there's a game that's out, there's a chance that I have played it. And then above that, we just have some boxes of things. And we cross figure of Tama. We can quickly go over the closet, but you know, it might be exciting to some folks, but probably not. All right, so lots of Force of Will. We have lots of Force of Will up here. This is a bunch of Dragoborn. We have a bunch of sealed boxes of various card games, old dead card games. So here's like Anachronism. We have a bunch of these. These are all sealed. There's an EV like tag team collection sealed box. There's just, you can see it. There's just a bunch of card games and stuff in here. My Hero Academia. There's some like Dragoborn. This box here is my, these are sleeves that are basically, they have sleeves in them, but not enough to actually make a deck with those sleeves. But we do have over here, underneath the chair, this box. Let's see if we can pull this out. This box has sleeves in it, but the sleeves in this box do have enough do have enough sleeves in them to make decks. So if I want to make a new deck, I come to this box first, and then I go to the sealed sleeves over there. So, you know, these are all supplies, help me make decks, help me keep the TCG video train going. So there's that. Going back over here, let's close this up and look at the other side real quick. All right, so here we have a bunch of anime figure boxes. Almost all of them are empty. We do have a Evangelion figure back there. That's the Gothic Asuka figure, but I don't really have a place for it right now. More figures, more supplies and bags and stuff. Here we have some more Force of Will. We have the World of Warcraft raid decks that I mentioned a few times. I own the raid decks. These are my World of Warcraft collection. Each of these boxes is full to the brim. Those are all like long boxes. And they have even more World of Warcraft back there. And then beneath it, we have a ton of these long flat boxes. And then we have more over there. These are all full of various card games. We have Star Wars, we have Wars, we have Middle Earth CCG, we have the Lord of the Rings CCG, as well as Middle Earth. We have this one says Pokemon, this one says Middle Earth CCG. There's Myths and Legends, but there's also a lot of Force of Will and a lot of Magic. So yeah, and then more card games in this box. So yeah, that's the closet full of more card games, and that's kind of gonna do it here. Like I said, it's probably still like 40 minutes long, but I didn't want to cover literally everything because it would be a lot. Even just pulling out some binders and showing you just took up so much time. But once again, the idea is I wanted to set an atmosphere here. So both like when you're in here in person, like for me personally, but also when you're watching my videos, I want it to feel like everywhere you look, there's something cool. You're like, oh, that's cool. So I wanted the same feeling like when I walked in to an LGS as a kid and I just kind of looked around and I was in awe of all of the cool artwork and the cards and like the figures and everything. So yeah, that's my studio. I had a plan and I do believe I executed it decently at least. Did I ever mention this? I don't remember if I mentioned this water bottle that I got from the Pro Tour. That's a Flesh and Blood water bottle I got from the Pro Tour that was given to me. It's like was a judge one. The white one's the judge one, and the black one is for players. I'm not a judge, but I did do coverage and commentary. So yeah. Anyway, that's, I might have already mentioned that. I don't remember if I did. It's been a little bit of a long video. And, yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this stuff. You can ask me about these awesome Livia Prima Shikishis. I don't know, just anime figures, flesh and blood. Just, yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. And that's the studio. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, we do have this brand new gorgeous playmat, which is so difficult to do things with one hand. We have the new Grand Archive themed playmat, absolutely lovely, available right now. Or if you'd like to support me through other means, we have the Patreon, we have channel memberships, which you should totally join. There's not a lot of people who've joined the channel membership, so I want more people to join so I can make more emojis. I want to get some custom Flesh and Blood emojis so you can do Flesh and Blood emojis while we do our streams. And we also have the Patreon, the merch store, affiliates, all down below. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful new year and a wonderful year. And we'll see you next time. Bye.